A very good morning to you. My name is David Batzofin. He says trying to pull up all these wonderful slides that I've set up for the chat this morning. As I say, my name is David Batzofin. This is In Conversation With. And today we're chatting to Schalk Pretorius, who is the principal trainer at Ulovane environmental training. Schalk, how are you doing?
Morning, David. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this morning.
It's only a pleasure. Firstly, how has lockdown been for you guys? And more importantly, where are you based?
We're based in the Eastern Cape. Most of our training and our campus is on 𝘮𝘴𝘪𝘮 Game Reserve. It's approximately an hour north of Port Elizabeth, about half an hour south of Grahamstown. And
okay.
Yes, the lockdown has been very real here in the Eastern Cape, and the tourism industry, but I think all industries has really been suffering the last year. But we're holding thumbs, and we continue our good work, and hopefully the tide will turn soon.
Great. Now tell us a little bit about the training that your organization offers, because at the end of the day, it must be very difficult to try and bring people on board to be in a group, although it's in the open, but now everything seems to have gone online. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, we started training and guiding in the 90s, so we're pretty old school in terms of training guides, which always happened on game reserves, and it was really a practical application, and that's where people can understand and see and learn new things easier when it's practically in front of you. So it has been a challenge the last year or so with the online training and setting the online training up, but I think it's been a new avenue for nature lovers to learn about nature, not necessarily to become a guide, most probably, or sometimes, but the online platform has given nature lovers an opportunity to learn more and see whether guiding is really for them, or is it a career option for the people, so they can learn more about it and see what it all entails, and then they can make a choice whether they want to pursue it and carry on with a practical training course to complete their qualification, or just use the knowledge and enjoy being out in nature more. So the online training has been a challenge for us. Normally you have the people in the classroom and you can explain things, and you have eye contact with people, and there's questions, and that leads you into what the audience is looking for. And there's also the practical application, going out on the reserves and then practically illustrate what you've done in the classroom. So it's been challenging to put it all on the online training. So we started with a learning management system, the Moodle system. We didn't want to start creating a fragmented, sending emails and sending documents here and there. So from the start, we went with a learning management system, which is Moodle, where we could set everything out structured. And the big challenge was to get the presentation together. So we didn't want to just record a lecture taking place in the classroom, but we wanted to create more of a documentary feel for the lectures or the presentation. So we tried to use as much audio and visual to illustrate to the people what we mean with voiceovers and videos of what we do on training and what happens on game drive. So it's been quite interesting to put everything, the theoretical, the academic, the classroom, the practical applications, everything in these presentations. And I think for the next year or two, we'll most probably, after every course, when we have new information, we'll update these presentations to make them as interactive as possible.
So the way you're presenting is not like a multiple layered Zoom conference. It is people watching the videos that you've prepared and then taking from it what they will. But how do you promote, I have to put my hand up when it comes to distance learning. I'm no good at it. I start
Yes.
watching, and then all of a sudden I'll go, hang on, squirrel. What else can I go and have a look at? And I lose it very quickly. So how have you overcome that?
So how we've set it up is every Monday starts with a webinar where we get everybody on a webinar where we can talk to each other, and we then plan what is in the week ahead. So our 10-week Nature Enthusiast online course is a structured course. So it's not a hand-in workbooks when you have time. So it is a structured course. It's a 10-week online course. So we generally start on a Monday looking at what we can expect the week ahead and which workbook assignments needs to be done by the end of the week. And then we have a WhatsApp group as well. And also on the Moodle system, we have a chat room where we can communicate during the week if there's questions or queries or more information needed. And then every Friday, we have a webinar where we go through all these subjects that we're dealing with in that week. So every Friday is really when we get together, everybody's on a Zoom meeting, and we discuss the questions and the subjects that we're busy with that week. And then prepare them also for the exam that will happen on the Sunday. So every Monday we get together, we plan the week ahead and what assignments needs to be done, and so on. The Friday we get together to see if there's still any queries or questions. And then every Sunday there's an online exam that the students write then. And then the following week again on the Monday we meet to discuss the exam and if there's any queries or questions that comes out of the exam, and we look again at the week ahead. So it is a structured course that we offer. And I know in the future with more nature lovers finding this type of online course, we might have a challenge, in terms of time frames, people from Australia and America joining the course at the same time. But all these webinars that we do have are also recorded and is on the Moodle system.
Okay, so at the end of the day, with all of this, you've also given your students a very specific time. So in other words, you do a week's worth of work, you write the exam, and I take it these exams are 𝘭𝘆𝑗𝑗 based.
Yes, the exams on the Sundays are purely the 𝘭𝘆𝑗𝑗 manual and the 𝘭𝘆𝑗𝑗 workbook exams. So there's very little practical questions on the Sundays exams. That's why after the 10-week online course, the learners will then write the Nature Enthusiast, the 𝘭𝘆𝑗𝑗 Nature Enthusiast exam. So they will get us out of the online course, and then from there they have choices or options. If they are young learners or learners with little experience in nature, or just young people who've got little work experience, they then have the option to join our full-time 10-week field guide course, where we go slowly through all the different aspects, and at the end of the 10-week full-time field guide course, they can then get practically assessed and write the 𝘭𝘆𝑗𝑗 apprentice field guide exam at the end to complete their qualification. Or there's also an option for people that's a bit more experienced and got a lot more work experience or relevant nature experience, that once they have the Nature Enthusiast certificate, they can join us for a 5-week practical on-site training course, where we will then focus on the practical application. So all the academic work of the 𝘭𝘆𝑗𝑗 curriculum has been done and completed on the online course. Then for 5 weeks, we can focus on the practical application and the species specific in our thicket, in the Eastern Cape thicket environment. Excuse me, and then prepare them for the final 𝘭𝘆𝑗𝑗 exam and the final practical assessment to complete their qualification. Or for those nature lovers that's just out there and just want to know more, once they've been on the nature or have achieved the Nature Enthusiast certificate, we also offer environmental experiences from 1 to 4 weeks, where we then go out onto, we focus on 4 aspects in that 4 weeks. One aspect is the life of a trails guide, and we spend most of the week on foot and focusing on tracking and trailing of big animals. The next week we focus on birding, and we go through all the different biomes and different areas in the Eastern Cape focusing on birds. We also do a week of marine that we focus on all the marine environment that we also have here in the Eastern Cape. And then the last week we focus on animal behavior. So for people that just want to know more and have an overall idea of how the planet functions, they can join us on this 4-week environmental explorers experiences if they just want to know more and apply what they've been studying for the 10 weeks.
Are the courses structured in such a way that they have a beginning and an end date, Schalk, or can people join in at any particular point?
That was a big choice in the beginning, but we've decided to go with specific dates in the year. So we run 4 courses during the year. So we have a starting date in January, April, July, and then October. We just felt that people are more focused and you can keep their interest. Once they book on and decide they're going to do a structured course, then you've got their attention. Sometimes if you run courses that people can hand in assignments when they want to, sometimes you lose them along the way. And they see squirrels and then...
I'm one of them.
So we try and it's not the perfect way to train field guides. Most people that are interested in nature are outdoors people, adventurous people, and they want to get out. But in the times that we have today, it's an opportunity. It's an avenue for people to get involved. As I said, our presentations also we want to make as documentary-wise as possible, so people enjoy it, and we plant a seed and an interest in those subjects that we cover. To try and keep them, entertained and captured.
Because at the end of the day, things like ARH and driving, in that you can't really do from a online point of view. You've got to do it practically.
No, definitely. The practical side of it is the most important bit. So in today's times, it's good to get all the academic work and all the groundwork out of the way, and you do have support with trainers that you can ask questions, and you've got time to do the research and the background of these qualifications. And there's the platform interacting with the other people that are also on the course at the same time. But yes, the practical application is really what we hope and dream people actually come and experience, because that's when it becomes real, and you really experience it when you're out there on foot.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you can't. Sorry, my cat is being difficult. He wants to be part of this conversation, and I don't want to let him. So you may see him sort of enter screen right and then try and take everything off the shelf, which is when I cut back to a slide and you won't see me hurl him across the room. No, I won't do that. I suppose at the end of the day, Schalk, that's one of the things, is the interaction between people, the sharing of knowledge, the absorption of knowledge in situ, so to speak, rather than just looking through a workbook, which can be, I don't want to say dull, because that's, if you're interested, anything is interesting, but it's not as experiential as actually being out in the bush and tracking a mouse or an insect through grass, for instance.
Yeah, 100%. The online course is really geared to, a lot of people that are interested in maybe changing their career to becoming a field guide or entering the tourism industry. They're not, some of them, it's a big decision, that they sell everything that they're doing back up and go to the bush. So, this online course is an opportunity for them to have a look and see what the industry is about and what is expected of them. And as I said, through the presentations as well, there will be lots of experiences and examples of what they expect in the industry. But at the end of the day, it really is the practical application that just opens people's eyes and pieces of the puzzle just fall in place. But in today's society, you know, this is an avenue for them to research a bit about their passion. And yes, definitely hope that people do come to the bush and come and apply what they've studied.
And age group, or is there a minimum age or a maximum age for these courses? Considering there is going to be practical at some particular point where they may have to spend 4 days out on a trail or something like that.
Yes, we don't have as long as people understand what the physical demands are for these courses, but we don't have an age limit on the course. You know, strange enough, we've got a grandpa and a granddaughter doing that is starting an online course with, and they want to follow up with maybe a 5-week practical course to complete the qualification just for their own interest, or maybe join us then for the 4 weeks together. She stays in Australia, he's in South Africa, so this is something that they can do together.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I mustn't tell his age, but he's, you know, close to 80s.
Wow.
We've had Australians from Savannah Guides in the past as well that joined us who's in the 80s. So one manages that when you're on site.
Yeah.
But most of these people understand the physical demands that it does. I'll be honest to tell you whether they, you know, physically in shape enough to do something like this or not. So, and even youngsters, you know, we've got a couple of people from schools in Grahamstown and in PE who also follow the Nature Enthusiast certificate. For them, we allow them to do it as assignments are ready and when they have time to do it. But even people from 14, 15 years old that's got a passion for nature can also join, you know. So there's no, for the course, definitely there's no age restrictions. We want everybody that loves nature to learn more about how the planet functions and how intricate everything is put together, you know, and the ecosystems that actually keeps us healthy.
Are the courses conducted solely in English, or can you do it in other languages, or are other language workbooks available?
At the moment, everything is in English. We do have interested parties in Italy, some of our previous students who are interested in helping us with nature lovers and nature enthusiasts in Italy, who's interested in this nature enthusiast certificate. So we think into the future, definitely, we will try and translate and make it possible for other languages as well to learn about it, definitely. But sorry, go ahead. Sorry, just at the moment we only have the work in English. Yeah.
In English. The next course, when is it due to start?
Our next online course starts on the 22nd of February. That's when that starts, so in about 3 weeks' time.
So I think, here we'll toss this out, that if people are watching this before Valentine's Day, then maybe this is a great Valentine's present to themselves or to a loved one, rather than wasting it on chocolate and flowers, which are going to die and get eaten. Here's a skill that you can utilize for the longest while.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, you know, it's this, as soon as you start studying the planet and you start realizing how intricately everything is just so in balance, you learn so much from it. You know, it's you as a person. So anybody, it's not just for people that want to become guides or conservation managers. I think everybody on the planet needs to learn a little bit about the planet and how it functions. And as soon as you start learning how all the interrelationships are so amazing that, you know, it has a role on your own life, and you do approach things differently and with more ethics and more respect. So, you know, and especially young people, if they understand the planet and how it functions into the future, they can just make better decisions. So I feel everybody, yes, everybody on the planet needs to take some time to study the planet and just understand how it all functions.
Indeed, and I suppose in a way COVID has offered us part of that opportunity just to slow down, take stock, and just think what it is we can do going forward to make this planet a better one to live on.
Yeah, I also feel people definitely has gone back to the basics, the absolute basics of life and family and friends and, important things. And, everybody's financially constrained. So, looking again at what are really necessary and what are important. And more people are noticing nature. I can see it everywhere. People are noticing butterflies and all sorts of flowers and things. Instead of putting photos of their lunch, they're putting more photos of nature and things that they're experiencing or hearing. So there's definitely a shift that we can feel. People are getting more sensitive to the environment, which is fantastic.
I do believe that you guys are based down in the Eastern Cape, and I think the positive that people can take away about doing an online course with you guys is the fact that you're sitting in a house somewhere warmer than what the Eastern Cape can become. Specifically, the Grahamstown area in winter is about that cold.
We live in an amazing place. It can be summer any time of the year. It could be winter any time of the year. It really is an amazing place. If you want to study the weather and climate of South Africa, then come and spend some time on the Eastern Cape.
It's my home province. I was born and raised in Port Elizabeth. That's the only reason I'm teasing you, is because I'm allowed to. I'm from the Eastern Cape.
Yeah. No, it is. We have all seasons in one day. Yeah.
Exactly. Schalk, if people are keen to join up, either on February, the course that starts on the 22nd of February, you've also I've got dates here in May and August, 24th of May and 23rd of August. But I suppose the easiest way is to people to check in with you and find out when the courses will be run. So how can they get hold of you?
They can get us on our website at www.ulovane.co.za. They can find us there. They can also find us on the 𝘥𝘆𝑚𝑎 website under accredited training providers. They are welcome to email me directly at schalk@ulovane.co.za. People are also more than welcome to send me a message or give me a phone call. My telephone number is 082 3388 975. And even if it's just questions on the industry or other options, whatever it might be, any questions, queries are welcome. So they can find us on our website, on the 𝘥𝘆𝑚𝑎 website. They can email me directly or phone me, send me a message.
All right, Ulevani is spelled ULOVANE, and it's .co.za.
That's correct.
What does Ulevani mean?
100%.
I should have asked you that right up front.
In the beginning, when we started the company, we were wondering, what would represent us as a company and our outlook on our company. And we thought about lions and elephants and buffaloes and all sorts of, but that's not really who we are. We are more ethical in the bush. We have huge respect for the bush. We try and blend in with the bush. We don't try and dominate. We take, one step at a time. We don't rush into things. With our students as well, it's our personal approach of one step at a time and not to force people to go over the edge. And we adapt during this time as well with the COVID, and we will continuously have to adapt to different circumstances. And we think that we're people that also adapt in the environment and change colors if we need to. And also it's the only animal that can look forward and backwards at the same time on the planet. It's the only animal that can work their eyes independently. And we would like to strive to look into the future, but also don't forget to look back to what's important and where you've gone through. So that as well, our logo itself is this southern dwarf chameleon, and we're proudly South African. All species of dwarf chameleons, the whole family of dwarf chameleons, are only found in South Africa. So we thought that's also quite a fitting.
I think so.
Is to find something. So proudly South African.
Good for you. Schalk, thank you so much for joining me today on the 𝘮𝘂𝘵 in conversation with, I've been chatting to Schalk Pretorius, who's the principal trainer at Ulovane Environmental Training. My name is David Batzofin. He's Schalk Pretorius. Thank you so much for joining us today, Schalk.
David, thank you so much for the opportunity, and all the best.